Hey guys, Dr. Snellgrove here, just recording a quick video about writing the body paragraphs for our first essay. And I'm kind of a broken record probably in this respect, but nominally this is a video for how to write the body paragraphs for your first essay, but I hope that it's going to, provide a template that'll help you in writing the rest of your body paragraphs for the rest of your essays, not just in this class but in the greater college experience. And it goes back to something I said before, that writing is not a mystical thing like, oh, some people have the ability and some don't. It's not an innate thing. Some people are born great at it, some aren't. Writing is largely mechanical. I do writing all the time, but I have to follow like, all right, I know here's how this client wants this laid out. Here's how this client wants this laid out. Once I know what the blueprint is, I can replicate this. I can build whatever they need over and over again. I can build the essay over and over again. And that's really what we're hoping you guys will get from this video. So once again, Grandpa's going to try to share the screen. There we go. So I don't know if this is better or worse. Previously, I was subjecting you to my terrible Microsoft Paint. Now I'm subjecting you to my word salad Google Docs here. I'll probably pop this on our Canvas in case it helps, but I just thought you might like to have a little visual aid to what I'm yammering on about. Plus, if I minimize the window, y'all aren't going to notice the growing stack of unopened toys back there. The man-child cave here, it's getting a little too dirty. All right, anyway, the first thing that you need in a body paragraph is the topic sentence. Topic sentence is literally the first sentence, ideally, and it tells us what the paragraph is going to be about. Not just, please don't open it up like, this paragraph is going to be about that. That's terrible. But you begin with an opening argument that supports your main thesis. And so I put an example in here. So in the near-ish future in this class, we'll eventually have an assignment or two where you're basically picking your own prompts. Like I'll have an overall, well, you're picking your own topics. I'll have a prompt that kind of outlines the requirements and any restrictions, but you get to pick what you want to write about. And I do this for my 1101 classes as well. And I've always had colleagues, Dr. Snellgrove, what kind of papers do you get when you let students pick their own topics? A lot of people want to legalize marijuana. Shocking, shocking, shocking. So I started using that as a sample thing here. So if I'm writing a paper about why we should legalize marijuana, that would be my thesis, right? Say Florida should legalize recreational marijuana. And so I put on here, I might start my paragraph out with the first reason Florida should legalize marijuana is that there will be many economic benefits. Okay, so starting my paragraph out like that does two important things, right? First, as we've already discussed, it lets the reader know right away what this paragraph is going to be about. And that may sound like a no-duh thing or a simple thing, but you'd be amazed how many paragraphs I read. I feel like it's wandering through the desert. Like, I don't know. I'm going on a vision quest with this student because they sure as hell haven't told me what this is about. So this will tell us what it's about, but it's also providing a supporting argument for the main thesis. So I yammered on in earlier videos, it's like, I don't know how to write a thesis. I've never had to do this. Well, yeah. Anytime a thesis is just an opinion. Anytime you have put forth an opinion, you've created a thesis. And anytime you have defended that opinion, you've done the same things that you are doing here in this paper or will be doing. So if I throw out something like Florida should legalize recreational marijuana, not everybody is going to agree with that. So throughout my paper, I have to answer that gentle implicit question on their part. Why? Why should we do this? And so I'm coming strong out the gate. First reason we should do this is there will be economic benefits for the state. So it's like, all right, I've put forth this argument. So I've got all these little supporting arguments are meant to lead back to and defend your thesis. Now, you are not stuck with whatever you wrote on the outline, but if you cast your minds back to the outline, one of the things that I asked you to do was to come up with like 3-4 supporting arguments for your thesis. And this is why. This is really what we're doing here. Is like, for me, this is usually easier to come up with in the brainstorming stage. Like, all right, let me map out a bunch of, arguments I can make. If you get really lucky, you might brainstorm so many of them that you have to throw a few of them out. But the idea is that at bare minimum, you need to have at least 3 of these supporting arguments. I mean, I'll cover this later in a little document, but that's how you get a 5-page paper. 5-paragraph paper. I do make my 1101 students do 5-page papers, but 5-paragraph papers. So you have an intro at the top, a conclusion at the bottom, and at least 3 supporting paragraphs in the middle. Hence, you need to have at least 3 supporting arguments for what you are writing about. All right, and you've noticed I won't stop calling them supporting arguments, because that's exactly what they are. Like, I hope y'all don't find this overly confusing or anything, but the body paragraphs are kind of like little miniature papers. So like a topic sentence is a new argument that I'm making. It serves my main thesis. It's meant to convince a reader that my thesis is correct. But if I'm saying, legalizing marijuana will make Florida plenty of money, that is a separate argument. And I need to defend that separate argument. And that's what I put on here. That's what you're doing for the next 3 or more sentences. Now, some of you I've probably already gotten onto, like in your intro paragraphs. One of the stick in the mud rules of MLA writing, and really college writing in general, is that paragraphs need to be at least 5 sentences. So that's why I have that 3+ sentences. That's very specific, but it's like you have a topic sentence, you have a concluding sentence that we're going to talk about in a minute, and then you have at least 3 sentences in the middle there. You can always have more. That's what the plus icon is for. But at bare minimum, we got to have those 5 sentences. And I've already talked around this, but to build on my little earlier example, if I'm saying, if I have a supporting argument, a topic sentence saying that legalizing marijuana will make Florida plenty of money, it's like, all right, well, now I got to convince my readers of that. So my next 3 or more sentences are going to be like how and why that's going to happen. And this is probably super obvious, but I'll say it anyway, because that's become my entire brand. I put a little thing here. By convincing someone most/all of your supporting arguments are correct, you have better odds of them believing your general argument. Because remember, my overall thing is Florida should legalize recreational marijuana. Not everybody agrees with that. The majority of voters, I guess, do, but not everybody agrees. So I want to try to get as many people on board as I can. So I throw out good supporting arguments. I defend those good supporting arguments, and God willing, the majority of my readers be like, this guy's got a point. I believe him. All right. So in their own way, maybe I shouldn't jinx y'all. In my heart of hearts, I feel like the bulk of a body paragraph, those 3+ sentences, that's usually the easy part, at least for me as a writer. Because sometimes it can be difficult coming up with a really good topic sentence. I'm about to talk about why it can be difficult coming up with a good concluding sentence. In the middle, though, it's just like, hey, that thing that you just said, back it up, and I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that, you came to these conclusions based on some modicum of logic, reasoning, and or research. And so I'm hoping that'll be the easy part for you because you're laying this out. It also helps, if this isn't clear, if I haven't emphasized this enough, these things are all about opinions. We're not even doing a research paper yet. If y'all want to do some research in your papers, that's great. But it's really just your opinion, unpacking why you think what you think in a way to get other people to think like you. Easier said than done. I get it. All right. The last point, well, I have a little bonus point here in a minute. It'll take like 2 shakes, but the last point on here is each body paragraph has to end with a concluding/transition sentence. And I put a little note here, and I'm gonna give you all my story really quickly so you don't think I'm just being a sarcastic asshole about you. I put on a thing on here saying if you've ever had an old teacher tell you that your writing doesn't flow well, there's a 99% chance they were talking about you not having any transitions, or at least not having good ones. Now, that's not me being passive aggressive to you exactly. That is one of the things when I was in middle school and high school, I generally got a lot of praise for my writing. That's how you end up as an English professor. But I would occasionally hear, Mr. Snellgrove, wasn't doctor back then. Mr. Snellgrove, your essay doesn't flow well. I'm like, flush it down the damn that'll, what do you want from me? And it occurred like, oh, we want to see these transitions from section to section. And I guess everyone is doomed to have these moments as they get older. But once I became a teacher, I started seeing exactly what they meant. I would get papers that were generally well written from students that are generally good writers, but it felt like their body paragraphs, it felt like they had 3 separate papers that were just kind of stapled together. It's like, all right, we need to have some at least cursory connection between these ideas. All right, so what I put on here, and I realize this is also easier said than done. But to create a good transition, try to think of and include one common element between the arguments to bridge them together. So once again, I'm building off our earlier example. Let's say that I'm wrapping up a section where it's like, we should legalize recreational marijuana because it'll make Florida lots of money. And I'm about to go into a section where it's like, hey, we should legalize recreational marijuana because it makes it easier to research medical marijuana and its benefits. So if I'm doing something like that, I might have a transition. And in addition, this is my imagine this is the last sentence of my paragraph. And in addition to helping Florida save plenty of money, legalizing marijuana might even help the state save countless lives. So not trying to toot my own horn here, but all I really did there was use the word save. Save money, save lives. I touch on it here at the end, and that eases, that transitions my reader from what I've been talking about in this paragraph to what I am talking about in the next paragraph. And it's one of those weird little things. No one ever believes me on this. People like transitions. They don't use the nerdy, like English professor language about this, but you instinctively know when writing is flowing really well, just like you instinctively know when it's clanking together like Flintstones using square wheels. So just being mindful of it in your own writing. What can I do to make my writing smoother, to make my ideas clearer? And of course, the ultimate goal always to win more people over. I only half joking when I tell people writing is kind of fun, especially if you're selfish, because it's all about, making other people believe you are right. It's become a better arguer, win more people over. It'll empower you. If any of you become a cult leader, though, don't tell them I said this. That's not on me. No Jones Township. All right, dorky bonus fact I put down here. I think I am the only. I don't think I've ever met a non-English teacher that gets a kick out of this. So I'll just tell you, I put it in here as a little fun fact. I like the idea that your body paragraphs are basically laid out like miniature essays, right? Because we've talked about it. I talked about it earlier in this video. What is the layout of your overall paper? An intro up at the top, concluding paragraph at the bottom, and then at least 3 supporting paragraphs in the middle. What is the structure of a body paragraph? A topic sentence at the beginning, a concluding / transition sentence at the bottom, and then at least 3 supporting sentences in the middle. So like I said, I enjoy the kind of Zen nature of that. Basically, the drop becomes the ocean becomes the drop. Your mileage may vary. So yeah, this video is a tad late. I'm going to provide y'all some context in email. Don't worry, I am correspondingly pushing our first essay due date a little bit later than what I have in the syllabus. And I think y'all are getting the hang of it. But as always, if you have any questions, could be questions about this video, questions about the essay, other assignments, questions about the book, any and all of it, feel free to email me. Feel free to text me at 863-835-2399. Y'all have a good one. Bye.